Ever feel like the world is moving on without you? Voices fading, conversations slipping away. Doctors call it just aging, but is it really? Here's what few doctors mention: the hidden causes of hearing loss, and why hearing aids aren't always the answer. Today we reveal 5 powerful hearing secrets, simple tools that can help you reconnect with life. And the last one might bring the laughter back into your life. Have you ever sat across the table from someone you love and smiled even though you couldn't quite catch what they said? You nodded politely, laughed when they laughed, but inside there was that sinking feeling again that you were missing something important. If that sounds familiar, you're not the only one. Across the U.S., in quiet kitchens in Michigan, on front porches in Texas, in retirement homes outside Phoenix, millions of older adults are secretly struggling to keep up with conversations. Not because they're tuning out, but because their ears are failing them, and no one warned them just how lonely that silence could feel. And here's what's worse. Most doctors? They don't say a word about it. Take Walter, 68, from Tacoma, Washington. His doctor checked his hearing 2 years ago, said he was borderline, and sent him home. No follow-up. No plan. Nothing. Since then, Walter's been pretending. At family dinners, at church, on the phone. He's there, but not really part of the moment. It's like the world is on the other side of a wall. And the wall's getting thicker. So let's ask the big question. Why do so many seniors still feel cut off, even when they've had checkups, worn hearing aids, and followed all the right advice? Because there's something critical no one's telling you. Something that could change everything. Before we dive into that, do me one small favor. If you've ever felt left out because you just couldn't hear clearly, especially around family or friends, hit that like button now. Let's make sure this video reaches more people like us, who deserve to be part of the conversation again. Now, let's get personal. Imagine it's your birthday. You're at a restaurant, your kids are there, your grandkids too. There's music playing, people chatting at the next table, silverware clinking, waiters shouting. You're smiling, nodding, but inside you're panicked. You can't hear a word your daughter just said. You laugh at the wrong moment. You lean in too close, then give up and stare at your plate. That was Diane's story. She's 74 and lives in Atlanta. Last fall, she told her son not to throw her a birthday party again. Not because she didn't love seeing everyone, but because it was too hard pretending to follow along. And here's what she said that stuck with me. I felt like a guest at my own celebration. I was there, but I wasn't really with them. Friend, that's not just a hearing problem. That's a human problem. Because what no one says out loud is this. Hearing loss after 60 isn't just about your ears, it's about connection. It's about laughter, timing, sharing memories, catching the joke. And when those things fade, it's not just your hearing you lose, it's your sense of self. But here's what they don't put in the pamphlets or tell you in a doctor's office. There are reasons why traditional hearing tests miss the mark. There are everyday habits and modern tools that can help more than expensive implants. And there are quiet tricks, known to many audiologists, that almost never get mentioned because they're not part of the standard fix. And no, this isn't about magic pills or overpriced gadgets. It's about real strategies, real adjustments, and a little bit of brain retraining that can help you enjoy conversations again, without leaning in, squinting, or faking a laugh. We've heard from so many seniors, from Illinois to New Mexico, who say, I thought it was just me. It's not. And you don't have to accept it as your new normal. So let me ask you something honestly. What if this isn't the beginning of hearing less, but the beginning of learning to hear smarter? What if the problem isn't your age, but the way the world's been teaching you to listen? Stick with me. Because in just a few moments, we're going to uncover some tools and truths you likely haven't heard before. Ones that could help you get back to the voices, stories, and moments you love. And while you're here, take a second to share this video with someone in your life who's been struggling silently. They may not admit it, but they'll thank you later. Because at the heart of it all, no one wants to miss out on the sound of being loved. Here's the part they don't prepare you for. It's not always about how loud the world is. It's about how fast it's moving and how quickly conversations can slip right through your fingers. Have you ever noticed that when you ask someone to repeat themselves, they often just say it again, faster? You're not imagining that. It's one of the most frustrating realities for seniors with hearing challenges. We live in a world designed for speed, fast food, fast phones, fast talk. But when you're over 60 and trying to keep up in a noisy cafe or during a family dinner with 3 conversations happening at once, it can feel like trying to catch falling leaves in a windstorm. That's what happened to Clarence from Cincinnati. He's 76. Used to be the life of the room, joking, telling stories, always quick with a one-liner. But lately, he's been quieter. His daughter noticed it first and asked if something was wrong. He said no. But what he really meant was, I can't catch the rhythm of the room anymore. I'm always a beat behind. Clarence told us he stopped going to his local veterans group because he got tired of asking what? 3 times in a row. Tired of the looks. Tired of feeling like he was slowing everyone down. And that's the heartbreak of it. Hearing issues don't just make it harder to follow along. They make people feel like they're no longer welcome in the conversation. So why don't hearing aids fix it? That's the million-dollar question. And the answer might shock you. Because hearing aids? They amplify sound. But they don't fix how your brain processes noise. They don't help you filter out the right voice in a crowd. They don't teach your ears what to prioritize. And that's why so many seniors get discouraged. They try the hearing aids. They go to 1 appointment. Maybe 2. And then they quietly give up, thinking, maybe this is just how it is now. But it doesn't have to be. You see, hearing isn't just about ears. It's about attention, and training, and learning how to work with your environment, not against it. That's what Evelyn in Albuquerque figured out. She's 81. Sweet as pie, but she'd stopped going to her neighborhood book club because everyone talked over each other, and she just couldn't keep up. One day, her grandson showed her a free app that turns conversations into real-time captions. Like closed captions, for your life. She brought it to book club the next week, set it on the table, and watched it transcribe the whole chat as it happened. She cried on the way home. It felt like someone opened a window, she said. There are hundreds of little things like that, small tools, small habits, that can reopen that window. Things most doctors never mention. If you're listening to this and thinking, that's exactly how I feel, then please leave a comment below and just write one word, connected. Let's build a thread of folks who know what it's like, and are ready to take back the conversations they've been missing. Because here's something most people forget. Your hearing loss didn't happen overnight. And reclaiming your connection to sound? That's a journey too. 1 step at a time. And here's another thing no one tells you. Sometimes it's not even about sound at all. Sometimes it's about confidence. Like June in Philadelphia. She told us that she used to smile and nod during chats with her grandkids, even when she didn't understand a word, because she didn't want them to feel uncomfortable, or worse, feel sorry for her. And over time, that little habit turned into distance. Her daughter noticed that the kids stopped asking grandma long questions. They stopped including her in jokes. They thought she didn't care, but really June just couldn't catch the words. When she finally opened up about it, her daughter cried. We just wanted you in the moment with us. And that's the thing, your people want you there. Present, laughing, listening, answering. Not just sitting silently in the background. And the world? It's slowly starting to catch on. There are new tech tools, many free, that can help you control what you hear when you hear it and how it comes in. There are tricks that don't cost a dime. And there are smart ways to train your environment so it works for you, not against you. But most importantly, there is nothing wrong with you for struggling to hear in this chaotic, noisy world. You've lived through decades of music, laughter, sirens, wind, work, conversation, and love. Your ears have carried you through more than most people can imagine. So if they need a little help now, that's not a weakness. That's wisdom. And if this message is resonating with you, or if you've seen this happen to someone you care about, do me a favor, share this video with them now. Because the first step toward better hearing isn't a fancy device. It's hearing someone say, "You're not alone." And sometimes, that's the loudest sound in the room. Let's get to the part no one ever really explains. Why is it that some people can hear the TV just fine but still can't understand a single word when they're out to lunch with friends? Why does your hearing test come back normal, yet conversations still feel like you're chasing shadows? The truth is this: hearing loss after 60 is not just about your ears, it's about your brain. And that's the breakthrough almost no one talks about. See, your ears bring in sound, but your brain has to make sense of it. It's like getting a fuzzy picture. Your eyes see the blur, but your brain tries to sharpen it into something you can recognize. Now imagine doing that all day, every day, just to understand what your loved ones are saying. That's what leads to exhaustion. That's what makes people pull back socially. Not because they don't care, but because it's so much work just to stay present. Take Barbara from Portland, Oregon. She's 68. Sharp as a tack, funny as ever. But she started noticing she'd forget what people said during conversations. Her doctor thought it might be early memory loss, until a hearing specialist explained what was really happening. Barbara wasn't forgetting. She was working so hard to piece together the sound fragments that by the time she figured out what was said, the moment had already passed, and her brain had no room left to store the rest. Once she realized this, it was like a fog lifted. "I thought I was slipping," she said. "Turns out I was just overloaded." That's not just common, it's normal. And it's incredibly misunderstood. But here's where everything starts to change. There are ways to train your hearing, not just through devices but through your mind. Apps that help you practice lip reading so you can read conversation even when sound fails. Smart TVs that isolate voices and reduce background noise so you don't need the volume at 80. Audio training programs that gently rebuild your brain's ability to pick out meaningful speech in busy rooms. And yes, tools like captions during phone calls or smart earbuds that reduce ambient chatter while boosting the speaker right in front of you. These aren't gimmicks. They're bridges. Little bridges between you and the world you used to hear so clearly. One of our viewers, David from Sacramento, said something I'll never forget. "I didn't know how quiet my life had gotten until I heard my grandson laugh again through my new setup. It stopped me in my tracks." That's what this is really about, not just sound but connection. The ability to walk into a room and not feel lost. The freedom to join a group conversation without holding your breath. The joy of hearing someone say, "Hey, remember when?" and actually remembering with them because you caught every word. And you can have that, even now, especially now. You just need the right support and the right mindset. Because here's the truth. Struggling to hear doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're adapting. Your brain is trying its best. Your body is adjusting. And your heart is just waiting to feel included again. If this sounds like you, if you've ever felt embarrassed, frustrated, or even a little ashamed to say, "Can you say that again?" Please know this. There's no shame in asking for clarity. None. There's power in it. And if you're ready to take back that power, even just a little, then do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button right now. Because here on Everyday Seniors, we don't believe in just getting by. We believe in living fully, with dignity, laughter, and the right tools by your side. And we've got so much more to share with you, things your doctor probably never told you, and that could make all the difference. Because sometimes, it only takes one small change to open the door to a whole new world of sound. And sometimes it takes one voice, yours, to say, "I'm ready." Let me tell you something you probably haven't heard from any specialist, technician, or hearing ad on TV. The shape of your room can help you hear. I know it sounds too simple, but trust me, sometimes the smallest tweaks have the biggest payoffs. We spend so much time focusing on high-tech solutions. Apps, aids, tests, but we forget the environment around us is one of the most powerful hearing tools we have. And it doesn't cost a single dollar. Let me take you back to Alice and Robert, a retired couple from Charleston, South Carolina. They've been married 51 years, sweethearts since high school. Every morning, Robert would make coffee, Alice would read the paper, and they'd sit together at their breakfast table by the big kitchen window. But recently, Alice noticed Robert wasn't responding to her like he used to. Not out of frustration, just quiet, distant. She'd ask him something and he'd nod vaguely or answer way off. She thought maybe it was early dementia. She was heartbroken. Then one morning, their granddaughter suggested something so simple it almost sounded silly. "Grandpa," she said, "why don't you and Grandma switch seats just for fun?" That little move, from sitting with the fridge behind him to sitting where he could actually face Alice without the humming appliances, clinking dishes, and glare from the window in his ears, changed everything. That same morning, Alice looked at him and said, "You always did like that paper better than mine," and Robert burst out laughing. Not because it was funny, but because he heard it. Sometimes it's not about adding anything. It's about removing the noise. Turn off the TV during meals. Sit facing people directly so you can read their lips, their expressions. Ask your friends or family to pause when they speak, or to keep music low in the background. These aren't burdens. These are bridges. Little signals that say, "I see you. I want you to feel part of this moment." And most people, when you ask gently, will do it gladly. They just don't know what you need until you ask. Don't ever feel embarrassed to say, "Would you mind turning that down?" Or, "Could you speak facing me?" That's not weakness. That's wisdom. That's you choosing connection over confusion. Remember Evelyn from earlier, the woman who stopped going to her book club in Albuquerque? She shared a photo with us recently. Guess where she was? Back at her book club. But this time they're meeting in a quieter cafe. She sits right in the middle of the group, and she wears a little pin that says, "Face me when you speak." She said it's the best thing she's done for herself in years. We underestimate what our environments do to our senses. But the truth is, the more we shape our surroundings to suit us, not the other way around, the more we thrive. And that's not just about hearing. That's about living with dignity. Because here's something no one tells you when you turn 60. You don't have to adjust to a world that rushes past you. You can slow the world down to meet you right where you are. You're not asking for special treatment. You're asking for true connection. And when you take even small steps, like rearranging your living room so you're not backlit during a conversation, or picking the quiet table in a restaurant instead of the one next to the kitchen, you're saying something powerful. I want to stay present in my life. And that choice, that's brave. So here's my gift to you today. Just one small change you can make before the sun goes down. Think of one space in your home where you usually talk with others. Maybe your kitchen, your porch, or your living room. Now just walk in, sit down, and ask yourself, can I see faces clearly here? Are there noises or distractions I can remove? Is there a better spot that would help me really hear the people I love? Make that one adjustment. Try it. And let yourself be surprised by how different it feels. And hey, if something in this story sparked a new idea or gave you hope, would you do me a favor? Share this video with someone you care about. You never know how much someone might be silently struggling, until a small gesture changes everything. You're doing better than you think. And you're not doing this alone. Let me tell you something that more people need to hear, especially after 60. Just because the world gets louder doesn't mean you have to go silent. You've lived through so much, decades of love, work, laughter, and hard lessons. And now, just when you should be soaking in every precious word from the people you love most, hearing starts to feel like work. Like something slipping through your fingers. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Because you were never meant to fade into the background. You are still here. Still valuable. Still needed. I want you to remember a woman named Lillian from Pittsburgh. She's 78. She sent us a letter that read, I stopped attending my church luncheons because I couldn't keep up with the conversations anymore. It felt like everyone was speaking underwater. I'd go home with a smile, but I'd cry when I got to the door. I felt like a ghost at my own table. But something changed. She watched a video just like this. She tried one simple thing. She asked her pastor if she could sit closer during group meetings. Then she downloaded a basic captioning app on her phone, the kind we talked about earlier. Now, Lillian sends photos of herself laughing with friends, listening in real time, even leading prayer readings again. And you can see it in her eyes. She's present. She's home again. That, my friend, is the power of taking your hearing back. And not just your hearing, but your confidence, your independence, your joy. Because hearing isn't about just picking up sound. It's about being part of life. The jokes, the kitchen clatter, the bedtime stories, the whispered, "I missed you." It's about belonging. So wherever you are, if you're watching from a quiet room in Oregon or a bustling family home in Georgia, know this: you are not broken. You are not behind. You are simply learning how to listen in a new way. And learning is something you've done beautifully your entire life. So here's what I want you to do right now. If this video touched something deep inside you, if it reminded you of someone you love, backhand index pointing right, share it with them. Let them know they're not the only ones smiling through the struggle. That real solutions, real community, and real hope exist. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and tap that like button so more seniors across America can find their way back to connection. You've earned peace. You've earned clarity. And you've earned every sweet sound that brings your life back into focus. So the next time you hear a grandchild giggle, a friend tell a joke, or a neighbor stop to say hello, don't let it pass you by. Let it fill you up. Let it remind you, you're still part of the conversation. You always have been. And if you want more practical, heart-centered advice like this, be sure to subscribe to Everyday Seniors. Because we're here every week, reminding you that life after 60 isn't the end of the story, it's the most powerful chapter yet. And I'll leave you with this. Hearing isn't just about sound, it's about staying close to what matters. And when you protect that, you protect everything. We're proud of you. See you in the next video.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. It truly means a lot. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with a friend or loved one who might benefit. And leave a comment below. We love hearing your thoughts and experiences. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest tips and uplifting advice for living your best life at any age. Now, if you're ready for more wisdom and encouragement, just click the video that's on your screen right now. It's packed with even more insights made just for you. Take care, stay positive, and we'll see you in the next one.